She wanted you out of the will, Carol. Her exact words. Her exact words on a Saturday afternoon with a pen in her hand, and I was sitting right there. A Saturday afternoon. June 7th, 3 in the afternoon. Tina from the insurance office came over. Mum was clear-eyed. She knew what she was signing. Carol set her coffee cup down on Mum's kitchen counter. The cup made no sound. 2 weeks before she died. With respect, Carol, she knew what she wanted. 2 weeks before, Derek. Let's walk through it later. Right now, I'm going to finish her coffee. 2 weeks before that conversation, on a Wednesday at 5 in the afternoon, Carol had sat at Eileen's hospice bedside and held her hand. Eileen had opened her eyes once. That was all. My girl. I'm here, Mum. I'm right here. My girl. My girl. I know. You rest. Carol stayed until the night aid came on at 7. She kissed Eileen's forehead. She went home and slept 4 hours. The funeral reception was held in the clubhouse of the Palmetto Ridge 55-plus community, 2 blocks from the condo Eileen had lived in for 19 years. Folding chairs in rows, a buffet of cold cuts and a tray of supermarket cookies. Sun coming in hard through the west windows at 2:30 in the afternoon. Mom asked me, the week before she went into hospice. She asked me to be the one to say something today. So, I'm going to say something. Derek stood at the podium with both hands flat on it.
My mother was a force. She raised 2 of her own, and she took in 2 more when she married Bill Brennan in 1990, and she loved all 4 of us like we came out of her body. She didn't pick favorites. She didn't keep score. She would want me to be honest today, so I will be honest. The last year was hard. Some of us were there every day, some of us were occasionally present, and Mom understood that. She understood it, and she made her peace with it. Carol sat in the second row. She counted on her fingers under her purse. 1, 2, 3, 4. But she loved each of us, and she trusted me, at the end, with what she wanted. And I will honor that. With respect to everyone in this room, I will honor that. 3 rows back, Joanne Pack folded her glasses into her shirt pocket. Carol, hi. Renee? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about today, about what he said up there. It's all right. It's not, though. Carol, can I just ask you something quick? At the cemetery, Derek mentioned to me there was a new will. He said Mom signed something in June. He told me too. This morning, actually, standing in her kitchen. Did Mom ever mention that to you, like before? Because she didn't mention it to me at all. And I was on the phone with her in May, and she was, she was Mom. She wasn't talking about wills. She didn't mention it to me. I don't want to be in the middle of this, Carol. I really don't. I just wanted to ask. Renee, take a plate of food, sit down, eat something. We'll talk later. Okay, yes. Renee walked toward the buffet, her wedding ring turning between her thumb and forefinger. Carol, step out on the patio with me for 1 minute. Joanne, I can't right now. People are still coming through. 1 minute. The cousin from Tampa can hand out cookies for 1 minute. The patio looked out over the community's koi pond. 2 herons on the far bank. The pump was humming. Carol, I was at your mother's mailbox yesterday because you asked me to clear it. There were 3 things in there that I want you to think about. Okay. 1. A statement from a Sunshine Variable Annuities account in your mother's name. The account was surrendered in March. Cash payout, $94,000 and change, mailed to her address. I didn't see any of that money go through her checking, did you? No. 2. A confirmation from a notary public out of Palmetto Title.
Notary's name is Brenda Cox. She acknowledged your mother's signature on a document dated June 7th. The confirmation is post-dated, mailed June 14th. June 7th. June 7th. Your mother went into the hospice morphine protocol on June 5th. I checked the obituary your stepbrother wrote. June 5th is in there as the day she transitioned to comfort care. And the third thing? A folded sheet that looked like a draft of a new will. 3 pages. Your stepbrother is the residuary beneficiary. You are mentioned in 1 sentence. 1 sentence. Here's how that actually reads in Florida, Carol. A will signed in the morphine window isn't worth the paper. But you need the paper. You need every piece of paper that contradicts that Saturday. Carol looked at the herons. One of them lifted off and skimmed the pond. Joanne, drive me to the hospice tomorrow. Tomorrow. I want to pick up her pillow and her reading glasses and whatever else is in that drawer. Tomorrow at 10. Joanne drove. Carol sat in the passenger seat with her purse on her lap and her hands flat on her purse. The hospice was a low cream-colored building behind a row of crepe myrtles, 15 minutes from the community. Mrs. Brennan, I am so sorry for your loss. So very sorry. Thank you, Patrice. I came to pick up her things.
Of course. Per our policy, I have her drawer bagged at the front station. Pillow, reading glasses, that picture of you and your father on the boat, her crossword book, her rosary. Anything you don't want, we can donate.
I'll take all of it.
Of course. And, Mrs. Brennan, I wanted to give you this. We keep what we call a memory book for every patient, a copy of the visitor sign-in for their last week. Some families want it, some don't. Per our policy, I offer it to the next of kin.
I'd like it.
Patrice handed Carol a manila envelope. Carol opened it on the counter. 6 sheets, stapled. Each sheet a day. Each line a printed time, a printed name, a relationship, a signature. Carol turned to June 7th. 8:21 a.m. Carol Brennan, daughter. Carol's signature. 11:42 a.m. Pastor Wendell Hayes, hospice chaplain, his initials. 12:15 p.m. Pump nurse, initials only, R.M. The rest of the sheet was empty.
Patrice, this is everyone who came in on Saturday the 7th. Per our policy, every visitor signs in at the front station, even family, even on weekends. We had a volunteer at this desk from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. that day. I know because I was the volunteer. No one came in the afternoon. No, man. Your mother had a bolus on the pump at 12:08 p.m. She was not awake after that. I checked on her every hour. She was not awake. Patrice, what's the formal process if I want a certified copy of this sheet? And the morphine pump log? And the medication record? Everything from June 7th. Per our policy, you submit a written request with a copy of your ID and proof you're the authorized representative. We turn it around in 5 business days. The pump log goes to the state every quarter, so that one's already a public record at the state level. I'll bring the request tomorrow. I'll have the form ready. And, Mrs. Brennan, I am so sorry. Thank you.
Carol carried the bag of Eileen's things out to Joanne's car. She set the bag in the back seat. She set the manila envelope on her lap. She did not open the passenger door yet. Carol, Joanne, get in the car. Don't say anything for a minute. Joanne got in the car. Carol opened the envelope again and looked at the June 7th sheet. She traced the empty afternoon with her finger. He didn't even know she had a memory book. Carol, after what you brought back from that hospice yesterday, we are not having coffee. We are having a planning session. Sit. Joanne, give me 30 seconds.
I want to look at this page one more time. You looked at it 9 times in my car. Sit. Fine. Sit. Carol's kitchen, 8 in the morning. The manila envelope on the table between them. Here's how that actually reads. The sign-in sheet is your spine. Everything else hangs off it. We need 3 more vertebrae by the end of the week. Name them.
1. Your mother's full medication administration record from June 7th. 2. The annuity surrender paperwork from March, the carrier's file, not the copy in her mail pile. 3. The notary's logbook. State of Florida requires every notary to keep a sequential journal. It is a public record on request. And we need an attorney. Frank Doyle. Boston transplant, semi-retired, does probate when he feels like it. He'll feel like it for this one. Set it up. Already set up. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock. The doorbell rang. Carol counted on her fingers under the table. 1, 2, 3. That'll be Derek. I'll let myself out the back. Joanne, stay in the back room. I want a witness. Done. Carol, hi. Hi. Thank you for letting me come by. I brought coffee. I didn't know what you were drinking these days, with with everything, so I got you a decaf. Sit down, Derek. Put the coffee anywhere. With respect, Carol, I wanted to come over before the lawyers get into this, because they will. They will turn this into a circus, and that is not what Mom would have wanted. What did Mom want? She wanted things simple. She wanted the house to stay in the family. She wanted to know somebody responsible was going to handle her affairs. I'm here. I'm in Florida. I'm in real estate. I can move that condo in 30 days. And the annuity. The annuity was hers to do what she wanted with. She told me in March she wanted the cash. She said she wanted to give some of it to the grandkids while she was alive. So we surrendered it. We surrendered it? She surrendered it. I drove her to the insurance office. March which day, Derek? March, I don't know, the 15th, the 16th, somewhere in there. Okay, and the Saturday signing. Walk me through it. Sure. June 7th, around 3 in the afternoon. I came over to her place. Tina Burke from the insurance office came with me because Mom had asked her to witness. Mom was sitting up in bed, lucid. We read her the document. She said yes to every paragraph. She initialed each page and signed the back. Tina signed as witness. The notary stamped it Monday on a sort of acknowledgement basis because Mom couldn't get to her office. Tina Burke witnessed it. Yes. The same Tina Burke who handled the annuity surrender? Same one. Okay, last question. Who did Mom call that morning to set this up? She called me from her landline around 10 a.m., said she wanted to do it that day before she went into the harder pain meds. She called you on her landline? Yes. Got it. Anything else you wanted to tell me, Derek? Carol, listen. I know this is a lot. I know you were close with her in a certain kind of way. I am not trying to push you out of anything. I'm trying to honor what she said to me. With respect, that is all I am doing. Take the coffee with you when you go. I don't drink decaf. Carol. Derek. Out. Carol. Did you get all of it? I got all of it. He just told you he surrendered a $94,000 annuity on a verbal request from a woman who he claims also called him on a landline that you and I both know was disconnected in April. He just told you Tina Burke handled both the annuity and the will. He just told you the notary acknowledged a signature she did not witness. Carol, he built the case in your kitchen. He built it every time he opens his mouth. Then let him. Frank Doyle's office, the next morning, 10 o'clock. Mrs. Brennan, sit. Coffee's on the credenza if you want it. 2 questions before we go anywhere. Go.
1. Who held your mother's medical power of attorney at the time of the alleged signing?
I did. Signed in 2021. Filed with her primary care, her cardiologist, her oncologist, and the hospice at intake. 2. Who held her financial power of attorney? I did. Same date. Filed with her bank, her credit union, and the annuity carrier. Then your stepbrother had no authority to be in any room where a financial document was being signed by your mother on June 7th. Not as her agent, not as her representative, not in any capacity. He was a guest who happened to bring an insurance witness and a notary from his own title company. Yes. 2 questions for the other side, then. 1. Where is the contemporaneous medical clearance from her hospice physician stating she had capacity on June 7th? 2. Why did the notary's acknowledgement post-date the signing by a week? They won't like either question.
Joanne already pulled the notary's company. Brenda Cox works at Palmetto Title. Derek's broker has a referral relationship with Palmetto Title. He closes there twice a month. Then we subpoena her logbook, public record on request, but a subpoena dates it. We subpoena Tina Burke's calendar. We file a complaint with the state insurance commissioner about the annuity surrender. We send a records request to the phone company for your mother's landline. And we send a hold letter to your stepbrother and his attorney telling them to preserve every text, email, and voicemail from May and June. How fast? I'll have the hold letter out by close of business, the subpoenas by Friday. The commissioner complaint I'll draft this week, and you and Joanne sign it. Frank, one more thing. Go. My half-sister, Renee, she came up to me at the funeral. She asked me about a new will. She told me Derek mentioned it to her. She was twisting her ring the whole time. Is she with him or with you?
She doesn't know yet. Then don't push her. Let her come to you. Understood. Carol's condo, 10:30 at night. The phone rang. Carol, hi. Listen, today would have been Mom's 79th. I was thinking about her. I was thinking about a lot of things. Derek, I have been thinking about how hard the last year was on you, with the surgery and the chemo and all of it. And I just want to say, that Mom understood. She understood you couldn't be there the way I could. I was there every Saturday and Wednesday. Sure, and she appreciated it. Carol, listen. I told her something at the end. I told her at the end she didn't have to keep pretending you were her real daughter. And she nodded, Carol. She nodded. And she squeezed my hand. I just thought you should know that, as a kindness. Carol counted on her fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good night, Derek. Carol put the phone down. She walked to the kitchen. She took a yellow sticky note off the pad on the fridge. She wrote 1 sentence on it. She stuck it to the freezer door at eye level. Joanne, it's me. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, your kitchen. I made a decision. I am taking this all the way. Sleep well. Carol, I read the sticky note off your freezer this morning before you got here. 1 sentence. Good sentence. Sit. Eat the muffin. Today we file. Joanne, I haven't slept. I know. Eat the muffin anyway. You don't file paperwork on an empty stomach. Let's walk through it. What's first? Here's how that actually reads. 3 documents go out today. 1. Written records request to the hospice, certified mail, return receipt. Sign-in sheets for the full month of June. Morphine pump log for June 7th. Medication administration record for June 5th through June 9th. 2. Formal complaint to the Florida Department of Financial Services regarding the annuity surrender. 3. An information request to the phone company for your mother's landline service history, January through July. Frank said he'd handle the subpoenas. He will. The notary's logbook and Tina Burke's calendar go out under his name Friday. These 3 go out under yours today, because a daughter asking is a different sound than a lawyer asking. A different sound. Patrice at the hospice already knows you. She handed you the memory book. She wants you to ask. The state insurance commissioner reads a daughter's complaint differently from a lawyer's letter. The phone company doesn't care who asks, but you may as well build a record under your own name. Hand me the pen. Hand you the pen. Carol, one more thing. The complaint to the state commissioner needs a sentence that says you and your mother had a relationship of trust and a power of attorney on file with the carrier. Frank already pulled the carrier's confirmation of your POA from 2021. Attach it. Attached. Sign, date. Initial each page. 2 copies of each. Originals certified mail. Copies for our file. Done. Carol. Joanne. Are you sure you want to take this all the way? I wrote that on the freezer last night. The freezer says yes.
Mrs. Brennan, per our policy, I'm logging your request at 1:15 p.m. Tuesday. I'll process it personally. You'll have certified copies by Friday morning.
Patrice, one question.
Of course.
Per your policy, if someone other than the family or staff came to my mother's room on the afternoon of June 7th, would there be any way they got past the front station?
No, ma'am. Per our policy, every visitor signs in at the front station, even family, even on weekends. The interior hallway has a coded keypad after 6 p.m., but during daytime hours, the only path to a patient room runs past my desk. I was at that desk from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on June 7th. And if someone tried to tell a court they were in her room that afternoon? Per our policy, the sign-in sheet, the pump log, and the medication administration record are admissible business records. I have been a custodian of record in 3 Florida probate matters since 2019. I know how to testify, Mrs. Brennan, if it comes to that. It may come to that. Then it comes to that. Joanne's kitchen that night. Carol at the table. Joanne pouring tea. Frank called while you were at the hospice. The notary's logbook came back from Palmetto Title under subpoena. Brenda Cox's entry for the June 7th acknowledgement is the 3rd entry on a page dated June 14th. The 2 entries above it are properly dated June 14th. Hers for Mom is sandwiched in. Same handwriting, same pen color, written out of sequence. Written in afterward. Written in afterward. Frank says a logbook entry inserted out of sequence is the cleanest forgery signal a notary can give. The state board doesn't even need a handwriting expert. And Tina Burke's calendar. Her assistant produced it under subpoena yesterday. Saturday, June 7th, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Tina was the listing agent's representative at a closing in Sarasota County, 41 minutes from Mom's condo. She signed 3 documents at the closing, time-stamped by the title company. She was not in my mother's bedroom at 3. She was not within 40 miles of your mother's bedroom at 3. Joanne, the annuity carrier. Frank's office got the callback recording from March yesterday. The carrier records all surrender authorizations. The voice that authorized the surrender, using your mother's account number and the last 4 of her social, is a man. Derek. It is going to a voice analyst this week. But Frank and I both listened. It is Derek. He doesn't even bother to pitch his voice up. He says, and I'm quoting, "Yes, this is Eileen Brennan. I'd like to proceed with the full surrender. Please mail the check to my home address. A man's voice, saying he is Eileen. He impersonated her on a recorded line. Wire fraud, insurance fraud, exploitation of a vulnerable adult. The carrier is now a victim too. They will cooperate. Renee. I was getting to Renee. She called me, not you, this morning. She wants to meet. She has something to show you. She said the words, quote, I don't want to be in the middle of this. I want to be on the side that's true. Where? Community pool. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., after the lap swim hour. The community pool. The lap lanes empty. The underwater lights on. The air smelling of chlorine and cut grass. Carol. Hi. Thank you for coming. I almost canceled 3 times today. You didn't cancel. Sit.
Derek sent me a text on June 6th, late at night. I never paid attention to it. I thought it was about a showing. I went back through my phone last week after the funeral because something he said at the cemetery didn't sit right. And I found it. And I screenshotted it. And I want you to see it. Show me. It says, quote, tomorrow at 3, bring Tina. Don't tell Carol or Renee. End quote. Timestamp 11:47 p.m., June 6th. Renee. I know. I didn't put it together until last week. I thought he meant a property. He uses the same tone for properties. With respect this, with respect that. He uses my tone of voice in his own text? He uses everyone's tone of voice. That's what he does. Renee, I am going to ask you something, and I want you to think before you answer. Okay? If Frank calls you to a deposition, will you read that text into the record, under oath, with Derek in the room? I don't want to be in the middle of this, Carol. I know. I want to be on the side that's true. Then say yes or no. Yes. Forward the screenshot to Frank tonight. His email is on the card in your hand. Forwarded by midnight. Renee. Yes. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He's still my brother. After this, I don't know what he is to me. He's the same thing he was last week. You're the one who changed. Carol. Forward it. Carol's condo, 10 at night. The lights low. Her phone on the coffee table, on speaker. Phone. Play voicemail. Mum. June, 2 years ago. Carol, my girl, it's your mother. I'm calling because the cardiologist said my numbers were good today. My girl, the numbers were good. I made the chicken the way you like it. Come Sunday if you can. I love you, my girl. Mom. I love you, my girl. Mom, I want to tell you what I'm doing. I'm taking him to court, not for the money, for what he said you said. He told me last week on the phone, 10:30 at night, that he told you at the end I wasn't your real daughter, and that you nodded. I know you didn't nod. I sat with you every Saturday and every Wednesday for 14 months. You couldn't nod by then. You couldn't lift a spoon by then. He invented the nod, and I'm taking him to court for inventing the nod. The money I don't care about. The house I don't care about. The nod I care about. The nod I'm going to put on the record. Phone. Save voicemail. Save it again. Save it one more time. Carol's condo, the next morning. The phone rang. This is Carol. Carol listened. She set the phone down. She walked to the window. She put her hand flat on the glass. Joanne, it's me. My oncologist's office. 2-year scan. No evidence of disease. NED. Twice in a row. Carol.
Joanne, I fought for 2 years to be alive, and the first thing I am doing with the alive is sitting in a deposition room calling my stepbrother a forger. Yes. Is that what alive is for? Carol, sit down. Don't sit down. Stand at the window. Listen to me. You did not fight for 2 years to be alive so that a man who impersonated your mother on a recorded line could keep her ring. You fought for 2 years to be alive so you could do exactly the thing you are doing right now. Not for the money, for the nod. You said it yourself last night. You heard the voicemail. Through the wall, thin walls in this complex. I'm not sorry. Joanne? Carol? Tell Frank to set the deposition. Already on the calendar, 2 weeks from Thursday. Frank's conference room. Derek, his lawyer, Tina Burke, Renee, Patrice as custodian of record, you, me, the court reporter. Frank is also subpoenaing the annuity carrier's compliance officer. 2 weeks from Thursday. Joanne, I'm scared. Good. The day you are not scared is the day you have lost the plot. Eat something. The same evening, Mum's condo, still in Derek's hands pending probate. Derek alone at the kitchen counter. Eileen's recipe box open in front of him. Index cards in her handwriting. She taught me to fold biscuits, right at this counter. I was 12. She said fold, don't press. She said press and they're a hockey puck. Mom, I'm... Derek closed the recipe box. He slid Eileen's ring off the counter and into his pocket. He turned off the kitchen light. He walked out. Carol's condo, late. Frank on the phone. Carol, 2 questions before we hang up. Go. 1. Renee forwarded the screenshot at 11:09 last night. I have it. Timestamp metadata intact. It will survive a challenge. Good. 2. The annuity carrier's compliance officer called me an hour ago. They are filing a suspicious activity report on the surrender. That goes to the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Network. It is out of our hands and into theirs. Once that filing lands, your stepbrother is in a federal lane, whether he comes to the deposition or not. Frank. Carol. Set it. Thursday after next. Bring everyone. Bringing everyone. Sleep. Sleep. On the record. Thursday, 10:03 a.m. Doyle and Associates conference room. Present. Carol Brennan. Joanne Pack as Mrs. Brennan's authorized representative. Derek Maltby, Mr. Maltby's counsel, Howard Klein, Tina Burke, Renee Maltby Garza, Patrice Holloway as custodian of record for Sunset Coast Hospice, Marie Velasquez as compliance officer for Sunshine Variable Annuities, and the court reporter. 2 questions before we begin. 1. Does anyone need a break before we start? 2. Does Mr. Maltby's counsel wish to make any preliminary objection on the record? Howard Klein looked at his client. Derek smiled at the table. With respect, Counselor, no objection. Let's get this over with. Mrs. Holloway, custodian of record, please confirm the documents you brought today. Per our policy, I brought certified copies of the visitor sign-in sheets for Eileen Brennan, May 28th through June 9th, the morphine pump administration log for June 7th, and the medication administration record for June 5th through June 9th. Each page is initialed by me as custodian. Mrs. Holloway, on June 7th, what time was Mrs. Brennan placed on patient-controlled analgesia? The pump was initiated at 12:08 p.m. with a clinician bolus, basal rate continuous after. Per the medication record, she was nonverbal by 1:15 p.m. and remained so until her death on June 21st. Who signed in to Mrs. Brennan's room between 12:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. on June 7th? No one. Read the line, please. The June 7th sign-in sheet shows the chaplain departing at 12:30 p.m. The next entry on that sheet is at 7:02 a.m., June 8th, the day nurse coming on shift. Mr. Maltby, where were you at 3 p.m. on June 7th? With respect, counselor, I was at Mom's condo with her. We had a conversation. She signed the document. At the condo, not at the hospice. At the condo, she'd come home for the weekend. Per our policy, a hospice patient on continuous PCA does not leave the facility. Mrs. Brennan did not leave the facility after May 31st. Our discharge log confirms. Howard. Derek, don't. Let the record reflect Mr. Maltby's counsel addressed his client by first name and said, don't. Carol counted on her fingers under the table. 1, 2. Ms. Burke, please state your full name and occupation for the record. Tina Burke, agent with Sunshine Variable Annuities and licensed Florida insurance producer. License number on file. Ms. Burke, where were you at 3 p.m. on June 7th? Counselor, I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation. I sat with Mrs. Brennan in person, both signatures. I'm going to slide a document across the table. Read it. Frank slid a manila folder. Tina opened it. Her face did not change for a long second. For the record, this is the closing settlement statement from Coastal Bay Title, Sarasota County, dated June 7th, signed by Ms. Burke as listing agent's representative at 2:47 p.m. and again at 4:18 p.m. The drive from that title office to Eileen Brennan's condo is 41 minutes. Ms. Burke, were you in two places at once? Carol, don't talk to me, Tina. Answer him. Take your time. I signed the will at Derek's office on Monday. He told me Mrs. Brennan had signed it Saturday, and he just needed a witness signature to complete it. He said it was a formality. On Monday. Ms. Burke, did you ever, at any point, witness Eileen Brennan sign that document? No. Did you witness her initials on each page? No. Did Derek Maltby pay you a referral fee for your witness signature? $4,000. He called it a marketing bonus. Tina, that is not. Derek, quiet. Let the record reflect. Again, Mr. Klein. Ms. Burke, you may step back. Thank you. Mrs. Velasquez. Marie Velasquez, Compliance Officer, Sunshine Variable Annuities. I brought certified copies of the surrender authorization for Mrs. Brennan's policy, dated March 17th, and the audio recording of the authorization call. Play the relevant segment, please. Marie pressed a button on a small black device. A man's voice came through, casual, mid-sentence. Yes, this is Eileen Brennan. I'd like to proceed with the full surrender. Please mail the check to my home address. Silence in the room. Derek did not look up. Mrs. Velasquez, did your carrier verify the voice on this call against the account holder's voice on file? We did. The account holder, Mrs. Brennan, had called us in 2020 to update her address. We have her voice. The voice on the surrender call is not hers. We have filed a suspicious activity report with FinCEN and a referral to the Florida Department of Financial Services. The carrier is treating Mrs. Brennan as a victim, not as a participant. Mr. Maltby, that was your voice on the recording. Howard. Frank, can we have 5 minutes? No. He'll answer the question and then we'll take 5. Mr. Maltby, yes or no? With respect, Derek, yes or no? Carol counted. 3. It was my voice. Let the record reflect Mr. Maltby admitted to impersonating Eileen Brennan on a recorded carrier line on March 17, 2024.
Mrs. Pack.
Here's how that actually reads. The notary's logbook, subpoenaed from Palmetto Title, page 67. 3 entries. 2 are properly dated, June 14th. The middle entry, Mrs. Brennan's, is sandwiched in. Same handwriting, same pen, but dated June 7th. Brenda Cox acknowledged a signature on a document she did not witness, on a date the logbook itself contradicts. The State Board has opened a complaint file. Notary Commission suspension pending. Phone records. Mrs. Park. Eileen Brennan's landline, account number ending in 832, was disconnected by AT&T on April 3rd for non-payment, after the autopay card on file expired. There are 0 outgoing calls from that line in May or June. Mr. Maltby, you stated to Carol in her own kitchen on May 24th that Eileen called you from her landline on the morning of June 7th. That call did not happen. The line did not exist. I may have misremembered. You may have. Ms. Maltby Garza. Renee Maltby Garza. Derek is my full brother. Carol is my half-sister. I want to read a text message into the record. The message is from Derek to me, time-stamped 11:47 p.m., June 6th, 2024. Quote, tomorrow at 3, bring Tina. Don't tell Carol or Renee. End quote. Renee. Don't. Renee, you don't understand what? I understand it now. I didn't understand it then. I do now. Ms. Maltby Garza, when did you first realize the message referred to your mother's will? At Mom's funeral. Derek mentioned a new will to me at the buffet. I went home that night and went through my texts. I found this one. I sat on it for 2 weeks because I didn't want it to mean what it meant. And now? Now I want it on the record. Thank you. Mrs. Holloway, one more question. Mrs. Brennan's full sign-in history, 14 months. Per our policy, I brought it. 312 pages. Bound. Carol Brennan signed in on 117 occasions, almost every Saturday and Wednesday, between April 2023 and June 2024, with 3 Saturday gaps during her own surgical recovery. Derek Maltby signed in on 4 occasions, February, March, May, and the funeral arrangement meeting on June 22nd. 4. Mr. Maltby, at your mother's funeral on June 25th, you stated, quote, some of us were there every day, some of us were occasionally present, end quote. Did you mean yourself, or did you mean Mrs. Brennan? Frank. Howard, he'll answer, Mr. Maltby. I. Let's walk through it, Derek. You signed in 4 times. I signed in 117. Which one of us was occasionally present? Carol. Which one? I. Which one? Frank, we are taking a recess. Now. Recess at 11:41 a.m. Off the record. Derek stood up. He did not look at Carol. He did not look at Renee. He walked to the door. Carol let him get to the door. Derek. He stopped. You spent 4 visits with her and the rest of your life calling yourself her son. I spent 14 months at her bedside and 1 Saturday morning at the front desk of a hospice picking up a memory book. The memory book is what you didn't know about. Everything from here is just the memory book speaking. Derek opened the door. He walked out. The door closed behind him. Carol. 3 weeks. 3 weeks since the deposition.
Sit on the porch with me before we go in there. Joanne, the movers come at 11. I have 40 minutes. 40 minutes is what I need. Sit. Sitting.
Here's how that actually reads, in order. The probate court invalidated the June 7th will on Monday. Mum's 1998 will, the one with you and Renee as co-executors, is the operative document. Brenda Cox's notary commission was suspended on Tuesday, pending the state board hearing. Tina Burke surrendered her insurance license on Wednesday to avoid revocation proceedings. The Sunshine Variable Annuities compliance file went to the state attorney's office yesterday. Derek's real estate broker placed him on indefinite leave, pending the criminal referral. Howard Klein withdrew as counsel on Friday. Howard withdrew. He cited, quote, an irreconcilable conflict regarding his client's representations of material fact. Lawyer for, quote, the client lied to me too. And the ring. Frank made him return it on Saturday. It's on your kitchen counter, inside. I haven't looked at it yet. Look at it when you're ready, not on a deadline.
Renee's car pulled into the drive. 2 coffees in a tray. Carol, Joanne, I brought the good ones from the place on 27th. Carol, the lid says decaf. I remembered. Renee, sit. I can't stay long. I told Marco I'd be back by noon, but I wanted to bring these, and I wanted to say something before the movers come and the day gets loud. Say it. I spent 30 years protecting Derek because when we were kids, he protected me from our stepfather. I owed him a debt I paid every year of my adult life. I paid it at every Easter, every Christmas, every time someone in the family said something about you and I didn't correct them. I paid it the day at the funeral when he told me you were estranged and I let him say it. The debt is paid. The debt is overpaid. I am done. Renee, don't make it nice for me, Carol. Let me say it ugly. I owed him, and I paid him with you. I am sorry. I accept your apology. Sit down, drink your coffee. Sitting.
Renee, the Sunday breakfast we talked about. Every Sunday, 8 a.m., Carol's kitchen or mine, we alternate. I already told Marco. Renee, one more thing.
Yes?
At the deposition, when you read that text into the record, you did not look at Derek, not once. I watched. That was the moment I got my sister back. Not the apology today. The deposition.
I couldn't look at him. If I'd looked at him, I would have softened it.
You didn't soften it. You read it like a court reporter. That was the gift.
Carol, drink your coffee.
Inside, the kitchen counter, Eileen's ring on a clean dish towel. Carol picked it up. She put it on her right hand, not her left, where her own wedding ring used to be before the divorce. Joanne, the sentence I owe myself, the one I have owed myself for 15 years. Say it to Renee. She's the only one in the family who needs to hear it. Mom already knew. Renee, come in here for a second. Coming. I am not the outsider in this family. I never was. I just believed your brother when he said I was. That belief is what I am putting down today. Not the ring, not the condo. The belief. Done. Carol. That's the sentence. I needed to say it out loud to a person in this kitchen before the movers come. Now I've said it. Now we move boxes. Now we move boxes. The movers arrived at 11. By 2 in the afternoon, Eileen's condo was empty except for the recipe box, which Carol carried out herself in both hands. Joanne, Renee, I am walking to the car. I am not looking back at this building.
If either of you sees me start to look back, take me by the elbow and turn me toward the car. Understood? Understood.
Carol walked. She did not look back. Joanne walked on her left. Renee walked on her right. The recipe box went on the passenger seat. Carol drove.
If you're still listening at the end of this one, thank you for staying through a quiet ending. There was no shouting in that conference room. There was no shouting in that kitchen. There was a sign-in sheet, a phone call my mother could not have made, and a sentence I owed myself for 15 years. That was the whole story. Take care of your records. Take care of your people. I'll see you next time.